Hey, what do you say there, YouTubers? Chuck GRC here. We're out today looking for a new site. I've got a perfect spot to run my sand buggy right here in Southwest Florida. It's like a half-acre flat sand with a little bit of weed growth. It's like a 1/10 scale Southwest desert. But what I'm looking for is something a little bit more challenging where I can do some rock crawling and some rock racing. Let's see what we got. Fellows, I'm out here with my new Axial Capra. Not new necessarily, but it's new to me. And my review right now is going to be to show you whether or not this vehicle has a place in my garage or whether I'm going to put it on Craigslist and sell it. Now, I'm not going to bore you with a unboxing review or a full rundown review. I'm just going to give it a quick shakedown here and see if I like it, and I'll let you know how it works for me. Let's go. Well, I tell you what, the name Capra, I believe it's in Italian, means goat. And this thing is, boy, this is a bone stock Capra. Absolutely nothing done to it, no upgrades at all. I've got my rates for steering and throttle set on about halfway. And this thing just... it's incredible. The articulation is insane. The placement you can do with the tires, just insane. Look at that articulation. I don't know if there's anything that will stop this. Look at it. Now, this might not be the most challenging course, but it's far from a plain smooth ball field. Wow, that's pretty cool. Let's see how we do here. We try going the ridge. Well, need a little help there. Now the drag brake on this is set to 100% at the factory. So that's going to help me, the newbie, for crawling, because when you get into neutral, and once you get past your point where you need to apply some throttle, it's not going to run away on you. It's going to stop right where you release the throttle rather than continue to roll. So boy, I am impressed. So my first thought here was I was going to give this a shakedown to see if it's something that I'm going to keep in my garage. And I got to tell you, I don't see why I wouldn't. I mean, the build quality is top-notch. There is nothing that I see that I would have done different, other than the hood latches. Now, I'm all about scale. You know, there's some vehicles out there that might be better at climbing or crawling than this, and that's fine, but I like to look at them, and they have to look the part. And I really enjoy the fact on this vehicle that there's no hood pins exposed. They're underneath. But they're kind of, for me personally, they're kind of cumbersome to get to. So it's to change your battery, it's sunglasses off, reading glasses on, sunglasses back on. You know, it can be kind of a pain in the neck. So I think the first upgrade I'll do is maybe add magnets. Wonder how far I should go in there. I'll lose my $500 RC truck. That's far enough. And you can see by all the love bugs that are around. I remind you guys, we're in Southwest Florida. It's about 85 degrees out now. The sun is blazing, and the love bugs are relentless. It's not a great day to be out, but I just couldn't wait. My battery came last night for this, and that's the only one of the other drawbacks with this vehicle, is that you have to have a surety battery for it. It's very limited on what will fit, and that's great because it keeps the scale appearance with that smaller battery up in the front, but also it keeps the weight towards the front of the vehicle, which is good. It keeps your front end planted at least. When you're crawling. Yeah, so I tell you, this is a whole different discipline in the hobby of RC. You know, it's relaxing, it's enjoyable, and it's satisfying when you accomplish what you're out to do, like when you have a spot where the vehicle is struggling and it just performs the way you want it to. It's always a nice bonus. What you've seen here today from my crawling is the extent of my crawling experience. I've never done it in my life. Today is the first day I've run this Axial Capra, and I am thrilled with it. Like I say, I'm not doing these reviews to get you to buy the vehicle or get you to not buy the vehicle. I do these because I want you to see, look at that articulation. I do these videos because I want you to see what I think of it, and whether or not, like I said, it does have a place in my garage or not. And this is one that I think I'll keep for a long time. I mean, unless you accidentally do the Thelma and Louise trick and send it off a cliff, there's not much that's going to go wrong with it. It's durable. I mean, it's all steel underneath, all the links. I mean, it's a solid, it's all steel gear, no plastic gears. It's a solid, this is like a piece of equipment. This is absolutely the top end of the hobby grade. Now this is just about half throttle. I'm just kind of wheeling it along. For you guys that like to go hiking, trail walking, nice relaxing, this thing will run all day on your battery. I bet you run 5 miles on this battery if you just go nice and easy. And there's not much in a hiking path that this thing can't conquer, I'll tell you that right now. This is just sugar sand here. I think I'll come out here with my little sand buggy and race around a bit. I'm going to talk about throwing up a rooster tail. Look, I got a tail. Hold on, let me get this. There we go. I think I got to trim the steering just a bit. It's got a little tiny bit of a left pull. That's no big deal. If I can't trim it out in the radio, I can do it mechanically. You can go back and play in these rocks again. That's way too fun. And I'll tell you why I bought this. Even though this is a specialty vehicle, I've done plenty of flying RC aircraft, and I found myself that I got caught in that trap of buying every new airplane that came out. And I've got a garage full of planes. Some are assembled, some are 2 years old, still in the box, brand new. And what I found is that, you know, I just kind of put the money into the part of the hobby that was kind of a waste. Only because I don't use them. For the guy that would put them all together and fly them all, great. But, you know, I had my few favorite planes and my go-tos, and, you know, my favorite high wing, my favorite low wing, my favorite UMX. You know, I have 10 UMXs, but I keep flying that one J3 Cub. So it's like, what's the point of having all those other ones? So before I bought an RC vehicle, and the reason I started with RC vehicles to begin with, surface vehicles, is it's something that I can do in my backyard at my leisure. And it just looked a little bit more thrilling to me. Something changed, because I've been flying for so long. I just needed something more exciting. A change. So I decided to pick up my first vehicle, and it was this. This was the first one I bought. And of course the mistake is, after you buy something, you're supposed to stop shopping. Don't keep shopping, because you're going to find something else you like. And what I ended up buying was something that has a little bit more speed. Is my Red Cat Volcano. Great little vehicle. 4-wheel independent suspension, 4-wheel drive. It's got a lot of plastic on it, but there's a lot of nylon content in that plastic, so it's flexible. And you know, I beat the crap out of it for the last 3 days, and no damage. But like I said before, I like to look at things. And now a Volcano body is just ugly as sin. So first thing I did is, when I ordered the truck itself, I ordered a VW Baja bug body for it. And I love running that truck. It's fast, handles great, kicks up a rooster tail, it's fast on the street, power slides. I mean, it's just a cool all-around truck, but it's not great for big aerial. Which is fine, because I'm not into that. And if you guys are, that's great. I don't knock anybody for wanting to do that. It's just not my thing. So now I have a specialty vehicle, this Capra, and I have something that I can run around and bash with, light and sand buggy, and I'm cool with that. And then I said, well, what about something fast for rock racing? And I ended up buying a Red Cat camo 4X. And that's a fast little vehicle. Four-wheel drive, independent front suspension, solid rear axle, locked. Fast, fun, takes a beating. So basically what I have are vehicles that I can put some miles on, have fun with, develop a history with, where you can say, oh, this thing's got 65 miles on it. And this is the maintenance records, and this is what I've done to it. And that's kind of the cool part. It's kind of like an old leather jacket, you know? You get attached to them and you buff it out and you do what you got to do to keep the thing fitting good and keeping it soft and pliable. Well, it's the same thing with these vehicles. You know, you get a history with them, you get attached to them. That's how I am with my plans, and I fully expect that that's how I'm going to be with especially this one. And maybe my little sand buggy too. Who knows? It's kind of funny. I get attached to stuff. You can't. If I owned a hobby shop, I'd go broke because I keep them all. That's the problem. This thing. So maybe that's not the most challenging course, but it's still fun. This is just the coolest. Now, mind you, I am not a veteran surface guy on RC. I basically just started, so you see me here struggling to back into this pipe. That's because I'm getting used to the, well, it's facing me, it's not facing me. Everything is backwards. The same thing when you're flying or flying inverted, that kind of thing. You see, the lights are pretty bright. Those lights are pretty bright in there. It's cool. I came out earlier today to try my little shakedown here, and I brought all my camera equipment. And what did I forget? The hat that's on top of my head right now, which is holding my little Mobius hat cam. I've got a Hero black at home, which I haven't gotten into using too much, and I use my Sony cam, and that's what I brought today. And I was trying to chase this thing around with the Sony cam in my hands because I forgot my hat cam, and the footage came out terrible. The audio was terrible, so I figured I'd come out and do it again. See how this thing does on a side slope. Nice and easy. Now that's part of the problem with when you put the overdrive in these. See how the back end is sliding down the hill? Okay, when you do overdrive, that means the front wheels travel faster than the rear wheels, and that's going to make the back of the vehicle kind of slide down the slope. So I've seen some guys do reviews when they put overdrive gears in the portal axles, and they overdid it. They went 15–20%, and that means the back wheels are actually dragging. All you need is really, I mean, even in full-scale vehicles like my Jeeps and stuff, if you did that to a full-scale vehicle, it'd only be 4 or 5%. It's just enough to keep you from pulling a wheelie when you don't want to. It keeps the front end planted. Yet you're not dragging it like a dog with paralyzed rear legs, you know. It still has some pulling power, but the front end is doing most of the work when you're climbing. And that's the idea. That's the advantage when you do overdrive. So keep in mind, if you decide to do that, it's just a few percent. If you can find the gears, it's only a few percentage, not 15–20% or 30% like I've seen some of the guys do. And you want a cheap way to figure out how you want to do it, swap out some tires. If you got a little bit lower profile set of tires for the rear, throw some shorter tires in the back, throw some taller tires in the front, and just experiment and see if you like overdrive. Before you tear into a brand new set of portal axles and start swapping out gears, you can figure that out on the cheap with some tires. Pull them off another vehicle, throw them on, and see what you got. I mean, it's not going to perform 100% on everything, but you'll know whether or not it helped you on your crawling. So that's what I plan on doing. I've got a set of 2.2s that I'll throw on the front. They're about a ½ inch taller, and that might be 7 or 8% overdrive, but at least I'll get an idea on what gears I want to buy for it. Let's see how this dig transmission works on a turn. Okay. See, the dig transmission locks the rear wheels. I think I'll turn on a dime, and that'll help you in a crawl. Okay. And maybe this controller is okay. Just a matter of getting used to it. Not a bad little ridge run. Now, I'm trying to operate this with one hand, and my controller doesn't have that thumb tab on it, so it's really a two-hand controller. But, whoop, got something in there. Can't see it. There we are. There we go. Well, tell you what, it's nimble. It's got a good steering radius, tight. It looks nice. The lights are nice and bright. Boy, I can't tell you how happy I am with this purchase. So guys, please, if you have a Capra, let me know in the comments. If you'd like to buy a Capra, you're on the fence about it, let me know that too. And tell me about your upgrades and how they worked out for you. I'm really curious. And on the way out, don't forget to comment, hit the like button, and subscribe if you haven't. And come be my navigator.